What's up, guys? This is EJ Holland with the Wolverine.com. Big visit weekend at Michigan. We're back with another Michigan recruiting report to break it all down. Before we do, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free, get notifications every time we drop new videos. And if you want even more Michigan recruiting information and a ton of intel heading into this visit weekend, head over to the Wolverine.com. Use the promo code UM1. That's $1 for 2 months over at the Wolverine.com. Get exclusive information on everything Michigan recruiting, the team, transfer portal, and so much more. All right, guys, like I said, we're going to be breaking down the big visit weekend with 5 key recruits visiting Michigan this weekend. Let's go ahead and dive into it with 5-star running back Savion Hyder making his return to Michigan. First time as an actual commit to the University of Michigan, the number 8 overall recruit nationally, the number 1 running back in the country. Getting Savion back on campus is massive for Michigan. Not really reason to be concerned here, but I just think getting him back, getting him around the commits, getting him in the big house to experience the vibe as a commit, getting him back around Tony Alford, all of that will just further help Savion feel at home at Michigan. I had a chance to see Savion again this past weekend, and it was a really weird, crazy game where the other team played keep away. So he only had 4 carries and 2 were touchdowns. But Savion is, just an elite level prospect. He's the number 1 running back in the country for a reason. Everything you talk about with Savion is elite, from his agility to his physical running style, to his speed, to his ability as a pass catcher, to his ability in pass protection. I mean, Savion is one of the best running backs I have ever covered in my decade-long career of doing this. So, I think Michigan fans will give him a very warm welcome in the big house this weekend. He's kind of the headliner of commits coming in, which really talented group that also features Rivals 300 defensive lineman, Alistair Vallejo, top 100 quarterback commit Peter Bork. So a lot of commits coming in, the headliner obviously being Savion, but also a lot of targets coming in. So let's go ahead and move to the 2027 class and talk about wide receiver Dakota Warrant. Michigan is making Dakota a top overall target for next cycle. Like I said, the 2027 class, he is ranked as the number 46 overall prospect nationally, the number 7 wide receiver in the country. And Dakota has a really stocky physical build at 6'1.5", 200 pounds. He plays with physicality. He's a natural pass catcher. He consistently gets open. He's always been productive at all the national 7-on-7 tournaments that I've seen him at. And I think he's taken a lot of visits to other schools around the country. Ohio State is very high on his list too, but Michigan has always been the constant. They were on Dakota even as a middle schooler. He's been to campus numerous times. This is supposed to be the first of 3 visits he makes this fall. He has a terrific relationship with Michigan wide receivers coach Ron Bellamy. He's an in-state kid at Harper Woods who plays for Rod Oden, who graduated from Michigan. Rod's son, Jacob Oden, is obviously a defensive back at Michigan. Him and Dakota are cousins, so that tie will help. And I think, he's also a sound mind, sound body kid, so he grew up around Bryce Underwood as well. I think all of that really, really helps Michigan in this recruitment. So this will be his first time on campus this fall, and the Wolverines will really look to move the needle here, as Michigan really needs a big-time wide receiver next cycle. Wide receiver, a massive, massive need in 27. All right, guys, let's go ahead and flip over to the defensive side of the ball. And speaking of flips, let's talk about Nick Abrams coming in this weekend. Nick Abrams, Rivals 300 linebacker, committed to Georgia, will be at Michigan this weekend, as I first reported a couple of weeks ago. I had a chance to go out and see Nick play live, and he's one of my favorite kids in the cycle. He's always been great with media, very well-spoken, humble kid. I think he checks a lot of boxes as a Michigan type of kid, and I think Michigan checks a lot of boxes for him. you talk about this scheme. Michigan runs an NFL-style scheme under Wink Martindale, who was with the Baltimore Ravens. Nick is a Baltimore area kid, so they have that kind of connection going. But I think he kind of resembles Patrick Queen a little bit, who Wink coached and actually covered as a recruit. So I think that's a nice selling point, is just scheme fit, the need for linebacker this cycle. Remember, Michigan has just one commit right now in 3-star prospect Markel Dabney. So they definitely need to add another linebacker or two. And Nick has always been at the top of the priority board with good reason. 6'2", 220 pounds, fills gaps in a hurry. Very athletic, comfortable in coverage. Also a guy who plays a little bit of offense. On the defensive side of the ball this year, he has been playing a lot of edge. He can get after the passer, but he's at his best at that Mike spot. I think in Michigan's defense could potentially play some will too, but I think Nick could be, the future heart and soul of Michigan's defense. And like I said, Michigan checks a lot of boxes for him. If this visit goes well, I think the Wolverines could be in a strong chance to flip him away from Georgia. And Nick's not the only linebacker coming in that is committed elsewhere. We will also talk about Braylon Hodge, Rivals 300 prospect, who is committed to Michigan State, one of the fastest risers in the 2026 recruiting class. Rivals recently bumped him into the top 200, now the number 170 overall prospect in the country. He's been blowing up with offers. Michigan is certainly involved here, but so is Texas, so is Oregon, so is Colorado. Like I said, he's committed to Michigan State. I think the general consensus is he is not likely to stick with Michigan State, so I do see him flipping. I'm not guaranteeing that it will be Michigan, but I think Michigan will have a chance to really position itself well on the visit this weekend. But Oregon and Texas and Colorado are all going to be factors too. As a player, he's 6'3", 212, athletic linebacker, I think would fit in nicely at Michigan as well. But I think this visit will tell us a lot more about his recruitment. All right, guys, let's end the video with a familiar name for Michigan fans, and that is 4-star 2027 defensive back Charles Woodson Jr. out of Florida, the son of Michigan legend Charles Woodson. Woodson Jr., a 4-star prospect, outside of the top 300 right now. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't sat down and really watched his tape, so I don't really have my own evaluation, but from the little I've seen, I think he could potentially fit in as a nickel at Michigan. The Wolverines didn't offer just because he is Charles Woodson's son. They did their due diligence. They actually weren't the first school to offer or even the second school to offer. They really wanted to do their homework and make sure they wanted to push for Charles Woodson Jr. I think that shows a sign of the respect that they have for Charles Woodson Sr. And so they are making him a priority. Lamar Morgan went down and saw him during the bye week. Now he is set to make his first visit as a priority target this weekend. If all goes well, I could see him being an early commit for the Wolverines and joining the 2027 class. So I might follow up with our national analyst, Steve Wilfong, who just put in a prediction in favor of Michigan for obvious reasons here. I mean, you're the son of Charles Woodson. I think it's only right that you don a wing helmet. So again, we'll see how this visit weekend goes. A lot of names coming to campus. So for the full list, for all the intel going into this weekend, make sure to head over to thewolverine.com. Use that promo code UM1. That's $1 for 2 months over at thewolverine.com. Get exclusive information on everything Michigan recruiting, the team, transfer portal, and so much more. Plus, make sure to like this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for free. Get notifications every time we drop new videos, and we will see you next week.